What up? What up? What up? Happy Thursday, everybody. My favorite day of the week. It's the grind day. You get everything in so that you can set yourself up for a good weekend. But with that, obviously, we got another show. This is the Grit and Grind Show brought to you by the In Off the Bench Podcast Network. Today on the show, we got Cody Rice from the South Beach Palms stopping by. He's going to talk to us a little bit about what he's got going on. We'll talk a little bit about the Open 25-3 workout that should be posted here soon. And we're going to talk a lot of South Beach Palms info. We're going to talk about last season. We're going to talk about this season. We're going to get all the ins and outs of Cody Rice and the Palms in the United Grid League. But before Cody joins us, you know, I got to keep the lights on this place, so I got to pay the bills. And the sponsors that are the best in the land help me do that. Chinook Seedery, whether you're on the field or in the boardroom signing deals, Chinook helps you get the job done. 8 flavors, mild to wild. Go to your local grocery store, convenience store, gas station, and pick up the blue bag, the best seeds in the game. Memphis City Designs, get your brands, gear, and logos on everything from shoes to underoos. Relief Chiropractic, go see my boy Dr. Vic Robinson. He's got the magic hands. He's rejuvenating people. He's adding years to their lives. I promise you. Go see him. He's going to put together a tailored prescriptive plan just for you. You won't be disappointed. You'll be feeling your best that you've ever felt in years. And finally, Old Dominick Distillery. Experience 150 years of tradition in the heart of downtown Memphis. From bourbon to vodka, whiskey to gin, Old Dominick's got you covered. Stop in today for a tour or just to pick up your favorite bottle to sip on. And with that, I can keep the lights on for another day, baby. Help me welcome onto the show Cody Rice, South Beach Palms. Cody, what is up, brother?
What is up, my guy?
I am blessed. I tell everybody this because it's true. If I get to put my feet on the ground and stand up, it's a blessed day. So
Amen
that
to
happened
that.
again this morning. So we are blessed. But for you, man, you're looking good, man. You got a nice little background back there. You got a nice crisp white hat on. You got the watch on, bro. I mean, you didn't have to dress up for this thing. I mean, come on.
I'm only been awake for like an hour, so this is just the daily.
Let's go. Well, you know, before we get into grid action and fitness, man, I got to ask you. All right, I do a lot of research, and the first place that I start is on socials, and on Instagram. You are the self-proclaimed king of side quests. I'm gonna date myself, but what the hell does that even mean?
Oh, what does that mean? Pretty much just I just randomly go on side quests. I do so many different jobs where I don't really have a set schedule. So like any given day, a buddy could call me up and be like, "Yo, let's go do this," and then we're out. We go do that. That's kind of how the whole grid thing happened too. Was our tour hit me up, and then all of a sudden, the next month I was in Florida playing grid. Just side quests all the time.
I mean, hey, you got to hustle. I know we mentioned it before we went on air, man. Mad respect to hustlers out there, grinders, guys that just get it, show the grit, show the grind. But the second thing I wanted to ask you about is, you know, I looked and I saw a utility vehicle, a UTV race. So tell me about this, the desert, you know, the best in the desert race. Are you
Yeah.
participating in this, and has this happened?
Yeah, ever growing up, I mean, I've lived in Arizona, being in the desert, always grow up in the desert. And so I have friends that have race cars, race trucks, all that stuff. So I've co-drove races. I've helped in the pits. I have my truck that I take and uses race support and chase them around the desert, pretty much all that stuff. So yeah, it's just running through the desert, having fun.
I mean, how do you stay hydrated? I mean, well, so that's a dumb question. I have an idea of how you would stay hydrated, but I would have to use the bathroom. What do you do then?
You just use the bathroom. You just go.
Full send, baby. Full send.
I mean, realistically, we have catheters. So you have that about a 3-foot long hose that runs down by your leg, and if you go, you go. If it comes off mid-race, and you'll know pretty quick because your seat will get wet.
But if you win, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. I mean, But let's get into it. Obviously, I'm fascinated by that. I could talk about that.
Yeah, it's one of those things not a lot of people actually know about unless you're from the West Coast. But even then, like I'm the only one that kind of really is in that world in my gym. So anytime I go do it, people are always like asking me so many questions, and I'm
But
just like,
you're pretty
I,
mechanical then. Like you do
yeah,
all the modifications and tricking it out and doing all that.
yeah. I mean, I've worked on cars, built a couple race cars, yeah, all
I
that.
mean, I'm
So
very, very envious of you. That's a skill that is probably very underutilized and very
yeah,
important, and it's a skill that I just don't have. I, I
yeah.
wish I
Me
did.
and me and my buddy work on cars like all the time, and like we're always doing something. So anytime something happens, someone's on the side of the road or whatever, like it's me or him to get the phone call, and you pretty much get both of us showing up.
I guess that's why you're in the gym all the time, so you can lift all this heavy equipment and motors and all the stuff that goes
It helps.
into the racing. I bet. But for you, what is the fitness journey? How do you get into working out? Is it early as a kid, or was it later in life?
I mean, I always grew up playing sports, football and baseball mainly, and then a year after high school, my buddies that I grew up with were like, "Yo, come try CrossFit," and I put it off for a while, and then I went in, threw down with them, and then pretty much from then on, it was game over.
I mean, that's a pretty typical story. Like
Yeah,
for whatever reason, people are coaxed in, or they're intrigued in, or their curiosity gets the best of them, and they go into a gym or a box, and you know they talk about how bad the first time was, but 10 years later, they're still there, still doing it.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. And for me, this year has been 10 years doing CrossFit. So
Nice, nice. Yeah, it's when I moved to Tampa in 2011, that's when I got into CrossFit and have been doing it ever since. And since then I've had two kids and taken the box aspect and made it into my garage. And
yeah,
I just kind of throw down in my garage and let my neighbors know who the alpha is on the block. And that's kind of what I do these days. But
I mean that's what you got to do.
for you, how do you find grit? I mean, is it just being in the CrossFit space, or does someone approach you? Like how does it go down to where you're like, yeah, let's do this?
Um, I mean, I never really knew about grid, and then last year, our tour, me and him have the same coach now. Last year we didn't. He didn't have the same coach, but I have my current coach. Um, but so I don't know. I don't remember who it was. Told him to hit me up because the team needed another guy or a couple more guys, really. And then so pretty much he hit me up and I was like, all right, send me the details. And then got all the details and I was like, all right, sounds cool to me. Let's do it. And then pretty much had to learn some new skills and that was pretty much it. Just ran from there.
So you're in Phoenix, you're in
Yeah.
Arizona, right? So
Yeah.
how does Artur find you? Is he just you know scrolling and
Um,
scrolling on social
we
media
had
and he
gone to
comes
the same
across you?
we both do blacklisted programming
Okay,
and so we went to the same camp last year. And
gotcha.
so we met each other at the camp.
Nice.
And then from there he had hit me up.
So in that camp was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So you sign up for coaching under blacklisted, and part of that coaching is the camp, or you get invited to a camp.
Yeah. Every year, Kyle and Griffin kind of just put on a camp in like March, April-ish for like open or quarterfinal stuff or whatever. And then, yeah, whoever wants to go goes. So I went the past 2 years. Yeah, past 2 years.
And that is awesome, for a number of different reasons. But a couple, you get the opportunity to throw down with some really good competitive athletes, and you
Hmm.
get to see where, like, at home, in your own box or wherever it is you're working out, you can think you're fit, but then when you travel to Atlanta and you kind of get a better gauge of how fit am
Yeah,
I really.
right.
And for you, where did you find yourself in the spectrum there? Because it's you're a really good athlete, everything that I see, but were you one of the better athletes? Were you, in the middle?
Um, I feel like for a while I've been kind of that bubble athlete where it's like I'm good at a lot of things, but obviously we all have our flaws and some stuff. And so it's like those few things, I just have to be like on top of that bubble, not at the bottom of the bubble.
Gotcha. So once you leave Atlanta, you have Artur. Artur, he is on you. He wants you to be
Yeah.
a
I
part
mean,
of the team.
I didn't even know he was a part of it or anything whenever we were there originally. It was like a couple months later, I think in like, what was it, May-ish? May or June, he had hit me up about it. And then, yeah, it wasn't for another month or two that I actually went out to Florida to compete and everything.
So was there when he offers you a position or wants to bring you on, obviously there's probably, some thinking that you have to do. There's some commitment, there's some financial, there's travel, there's all these things that go into it. Was it an easy decision for you to join the team, or was it something you actually had to sit down and think about?
I mean, I don't think I thought about it very long, honestly. um, I
Side
kind of,
quest, baby.
yeah,
Another
I
side
tend to,
quest.
I tend to just jump on things, honestly. An opportunity arises, and like you just have to take them because you never know where it's going to lead. So it was one of those things that was like, all right, yeah, like I can get my foot in another door in another fitness realm and like get my name out there in other aspects rather than just CrossFit. So kind of just on a whim said, yeah, all right, I'm in. And then what do
Nice.
I got to learn?
I mean, and that's the next piece is, some people know what they're getting into when they commit to a team or sign with a team. You actually had no idea. You're contacted and they're like, "Hey, you want to be a part of this?" But you don't really have an idea of what it is. So, did you research? Did you watch previous matches before you even like attempted any of this, or did you just go, "You know what? I'm all in and I'll just figure it out when I get there. Throw me in the fire."
It was pretty much for the most part, I'll figure it out. But there was a couple of things that I like looked up or that I think like I could do, and so like I had like practiced them and like learned them really quick. And so then whenever I got there, it was like, all right, what do I got to do? Put me in wherever. I'll figure out how to do it.
Right. And so
And
you
Briley, whenever she was hitting me up about all the things after our tour, so she like had contacted me and said, "All right, can you do this, 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 and this?" And I was just like, "All right, let me try." And like, whatever you think you need me to do, send it to me, and I'll figure it out.
there you go. Was there anything that they sent you where you were like, "Damn, this is really hard. I don't know if I can do this."
Um, I don't think so, honestly. I mean, at the tail end of last year, there was a couple things, but for the most part, like I pretty much do all the stuff that I do anyways. The only thing I really like learned, which surprisingly was easy to learn, was the butterfly ring muscle ups. Um, I learned those in like 5 minutes.
I mean, you're a CrossFitter. That's something.
Yeah,
That's a skill that you got to have eventually anyway. So like
yeah.
you're probably
So
learning that for a much greater cause outside of just being a grid athlete.
yeah, but I mean, it definitely doesn't feel good on the shoulders being over 200 pounds, swinging around on the rings.
Um, so last season was your first season,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Um, did it meet expectations? Was it more than what you thought it was going to be? Was it harder? Was it easier?
Um, a little bit of both. Like it was way more fun than I like thought it could be. Um, just because like it gave me that competitive environment in a different aspect from CrossFit, where you're doing multiple different events and all that stuff. Where grid is like so fast, like your adrenaline is just like spiked the whole time. And I mean, obviously, everything else I do with racing, all that stuff is like high adrenaline the whole time to where like I need that. Like that's what's fun to me is
Right.
having a bunch of adrenaline, like hyped up the whole time, and like just excitement. So to have that in an hour and a half, like it's so much fun.
It's intense. It's a level like you can practice a lot of different ways, but nothing can truly mimic exactly the intensity and what it feels like when you're out there on the grid and there's another team
Right.
lined up on the other side.
Yeah. Just
How
going head to head in racing is like so hype. And then you get that win, and like there's not much that really compares to how exciting it is.
I mean, other than being in a utility vehicle rolling through the desert, I don't like
Yeah.
peeing on yourself. Like nothing is as
Running,
intense as that.
yeah,
So
running 120 mile an hour through the desert. Yeah.
that's man, that's you're a maniac, dude. You are a maniac. But at the end of last season, you guys have the last regular season match against the Brigade, and there was a very outside chance. Let's be real. It was an outside chance that you guys could get into the playoffs.
Mm,
It was, another team had to lose and you had to win, and then you had to win by a point differential more than 5. It was just a lot of things that was
so
very
much.
hard, a really hard mountain to climb. But you end up winning the match and ending on a good note. You just, the other things didn't happen to allow you guys to get into the playoffs. But when you look back on the season, like, was it, it had to be a net positive and a successful season, being it was your first season, you got your feet wet, and here you are re-signed again for 2025. So when you look back on last season, what are your thoughts on it as a whole?
I think it was a great season. Like for us being the smallest team, and like even some of the matches we were still missing one or two people. Like, and we were still able to come out with some wins, even with the people we did have. Like we were all having to like learn new skills, like
Yeah.
learn them on the fly too. And then it was like looking at our papers of like our jobs that we were going to be doing in any match, like they could change at any point. So everyone was like so willing to just handle whatever they needed to handle, that like it really created a good bond with everyone. And that's why like everyone is re-signed with our team. Like nobody wants to leave.
Yeah, and when I talked to Briley, that's one of the things that she, was big on is just the culture and the atmosphere. She wanted to make sure, obviously, that it's competitive and everybody's getting after it, but she wanted everybody to enjoy the fact that they are on the Palms. Like she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want to lose anybody. She wants to re-sign everybody. She enjoys everyone that's on the team, but she wants the decision to be so easy for them because they had such a great experience on the team that re-signing isn't even a question. They just want to do it anyways. And
Yeah.
for you re-signed for 2025, and when I look at the roster, online, there's 15 signed or re-signed players. There's a couple new players. What is the thing that you personally, just you, have been working on to get better for 2025?
I mean, specifically more bar complex stuff. Um, Obviously, it's not as easy for me to fly around on some rings or the bar as it is someone that's 135 pounds or something. And that's kind of like all they've done, where I've never really had that gymnastic background. So I've kind of had to like learn and like just be more proficient with that stuff. Where
Yeah,
barbells and stuff like that comes easy for me.
it's just not fair for us tall guys, that I mean, it's just a struggle. And
Yeah.
I don't want people to say, "Well, you get wall balls and you get rowing." I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I want
Um,
hanging from the ring to be easy. I
yeah.
want getting
Oh,
up on the rings to be easy.
yeah. Luckily, that like some stuff on the rings and like a lot of my gymnastics in general have gotten better. But that's like single kind of modality stuff where I'm doing like one thing on there, not double and triple touches and stuff like that. One thing
So
I'm wanting to learn more, which hopefully I don't have to do them this year actually, is the back up rise. Like last year, didn't even know how to do one. I knew how to do it in my head. I knew the concept of it. And then last year, like we messed up a little something on the grid, and then I ran out and I was like, all right, well, I gotta do one left, so I'll figure it out.
uh
Jumped up there,
don't
just figured it out.
You made mistake number one. You put it out there in the universe that you didn't want to do it. So you know that match one at the end of May, get ready to do at least
God,
one
I know.
backup rise.
I mean,
Now,
luckily we have 2 people that are like proficient with them now, so I shouldn't have to do them. But I mean, you never know.
hey, if they do their job, this is what all the athletes say. I just want everybody, I want to do what's best for the team, and whatever role that you are designed to do, then I want you to be the best and you do that. But
Yep.
if I need to help out, I'll do whatever I can to help out there.
Yep, that's pretty much exactly it.
So you mentioned, getting more proficient at some of these, rig complexes and pools and stuff on hanging on the rig, but 25-2. There's a lot of work on the rig there, brother.
Yeah.
How did that
That
go for you?
that's
Well,
a little different.
let's talk about the Open in general. Are you
Oh
are you
my
are you
God.
signed up? Are you doing the Open?
Yeah.
All right. So talk me through. All right, 25-1. You see the snatches or the
God, I
clean and
hate that
jerks. You
workout.
see the lunges.
I hate monotonous stuff like that. I absolutely hate it.
You know,
I need like high stakes, like stuff that requires skill. Like there was no skill in that. So it's just so boring to me. And like mentally, those workouts are harder than anything else just
yeah.
because they're so boring.
Now, if let's say the hang, clean and jerk was heavier, and let's say the lunge got further each round, would that be enough stakes for you, or still just
So
those
even if
movements
the dumbbell wasn't heavier, but if we had like overhead walking lunge,
with
I
the
think that
dumbbell?
would have been way better.
Okay.
That would have
Hey,
been way more fun.
well, I mean, then not everyone could do it, and then you're weeding out a lot of the people in the very first workout. Now,
I mean,
uh,
I think people could do it. It's
yeah.
just a matter of I'm able to lock my shoulder out and not have fatigue like other people.
So going into that first workout, oh, this is going to be very monotonous. This is like not really my thing.
Yeah.
Do you still do well or do better than you think, or just because the mindset's not there, like you definitely like if it was
Um,
different, you could have scored better?
for me, it was just kind of like, okay, I know where I need to be, so I just need to get there.
Right.
It's like, just do it, get there. More. That's, I mean, sadly to say, more of a damage control workout for me.
Yeah.
Where the second
What
week is full send.
let's let's see if I can make you glass half full here. How did you do on 25-1?
Um, I was in the clean and jerks on the round of 27. Like I should have finished 27s. I was being a little bitch about it, but
I
yeah.
mean, you did better than me. So like there you go. There's me
Yeah.
giving you your flowers. Like
I
you
should
did
be happy
awesome.
with it is the problem. Like I should be happy with how I did and that like I'm still on that bubble of 1%. Like
Yep.
I should be happy with that, but like personally, comparatively to most people, I should be happy with it, but it's just like me personally, I'm not happy with my
Uh,
performance on it.
I get it. When you have that internal like thing, like, and it's what elite athletes have that not good athletes have.
Mm-hmm.
It's you care almost an obsessive amount about the performance, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can be motivating, but sometimes it can be detrimental. And finding that balance between the two is probably key. But then 25-2 comes, and that's
So
a pull up and bar muscle up workout. So like
it's been a wild week since 25-2 because my gym hosted 25-2.
I saw that. I was gonna ask if that was the case,
Yeah,
and
I just haven't made an Instagram post about it yet. But yeah, that was a wild week.
wow. Wow. Was it just wild from a standpoint of like the production piece and like the bells and whistles that goes into doing the open announcement from there? Or was it just everything out just in your life was just crazy that particular week?
No, it was mainly just them being there because I am like head coach at our gym. Like I coach most classes. Like I help with like our programming stuff if we have anything to do with that, because like Kyle, like my coach, is also a programmer for our gym. Right. So I kind of have direct contact with that. So I pretty much just help with everything. So when like CrossFit came in, it was like, all right, what do you guys need help with? And so I was like helping them with everything if they needed stuff, whatever it was. And then like day of, we were able to do like fun games beforehand, like right before we went live and everything. We're doing like echo bike races, like with the foam roller in the middle and stuff.
Yeah.
So one of the directors had told me to like go find people to do that. So it was just like a whirlwind, like busy, epic time with everyone there. And then the whole thing happened, and then Emily's husband, Kyle, after they broke all the camera crew down, like broke everything down off the rig, changed the rig back, all that, he looks at me and he goes, all right, your turn afterwards on Thursday. And I'm like, what?
I'm not ready for this.
Yeah, like I'm so not ready for this, because like we had became good friends at that point by then. We'd like seen him the night before, talked to him all day that day, like so. He's like, yeah, all right, your turn, you get warmed up. And I was like, okay. And when a games athlete's husband tells you to get ready to do it, and he's going to push you the hardest you've ever been pushed, you don't say no.
I mean, all you have to tell me sometimes is, I bet you can't do it. And then it's like, what? How dare you?
He's like, all right, I'm going to coach you through it. I was like, all right, I'm not ready. Right. I'm not mentally prepared for this at all, but here we go.
So how did it go? Did he coach you? Did Kyle coach you well?
He made me sick. Oh, I was physically sick. Like threw up afterwards. Yeah, all bad.
Well,
very bad for like 2 days afterwards.
Have you recovered?
I redid it on Monday.
Oh, well, okay.
And pretty much made myself sick again.
Did you at least score better on Monday?
Yes.
Okay,
I did,
good.
Yeah, 25 seconds better.
Have you ever redone a workout and not done better?
Yeah. I mean, normally, like at that point, I look at the clock and I know I'm not going to do better, and then it's like, screw it, I'm done. But for the most part, like I go into it with a better strategy, because on that one I didn't have a strategy at all, because
you didn't have time.
Yeah, I didn't have time.
And he said,
I'm going to coach you through it, and his coaching was, as soon as I got off the bar going to the next piece, it was 3, 2, 1, fucking go. And then it was like, I'm slowing down and he's just yelling at me, cussing at me. And yeah.
For those listeners out there, in CrossFit, that is coaching. Just so everybody knows.
That's my kind of coaching. If you're over there cheering for me, good job, you're doing great. No, that I'm going to literally stop my workout, look at you and tell you to shut the hell up, and then go back. Nice. But if you're like cussing at me and like mentally draining me in that aspect, I'm going to do better.
You want to borderline hate this person by the end of this workout, but then after it's over, it's like, oh, thank you so much for being exactly what I needed.
He definitely pushed me to a new level that like I can then in another workout like have his voice in my head. Like his voice will be ingrained in my brain on how hard I need to push.
It's good to know where that threshold is too. Like you always want to know like what do I feel like when I feel like I can't go any harder or any faster or any more? And then you want to be able to push that further and go, okay, I know what that felt like the first time, but I was able to overcome that. So now that threshold is increased. Mm-hmm. So over time, and I think that's what, separates the top 10% of the game's athletes, is that they're able to constantly regroup and reset where they think that peak threshold is, mm-hmm. and they keep moving it all the time. And it takes a mentality and it takes a physical, thing that people have to be able to push that, because it's not a fun feeling. It's
Yeah.
maybe not even fun after you do it, but you can appreciate it, you can respect it, and you kind of know that's what you need to do. But looking forward now, 25-3, we don't know what we don't know, but for you, what would you like to see?
I mean, it's hard to say what I would like to see, considering there was a potential leak of it, so that
Well,
everybody kind of knows potentially what it is.
if it's deadlifts, wall balls, and
Th-
rowing, like, is that something that's gonna
Did you hear wall
tickle?
balls?
That's what I heard,
I heard
or
wall
I think I read
balls.
a post today. But
I thought I seen something that it was like 50 cal row, 50 deadlifts, 50 cal row, 25 wall walks.
oh, wall walks. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe I read through that too fast, but I mean, okay,
whatever.
wall walks. It is.
As long as the deadlifts aren't too bad, where I can like touch and go a bunch of them, I'll be fine. Because I'm not like a singles deadlift kind of guy, or else I will literally blow out my back.
I don't know who would like. I think to me, one of the biggest challenges mentally is picking up the bar, like
Hmm.
dropping it and then going back and going, I got to do this again. And let's say it's like 15 reps. Like, you mean to tell me you're going to do that 15 times? Like, I
Yeah.
don't have the mental
Mm-mm.
it, but I do have the mental it to go, let me crush about 7 of these, drop it, and then I'll try to do 8 more, like to
Yeah.
hit my 15. Like,
Yeah.
big sets. I mean, and maybe that's not a good strategy, but like mentally, I look at it as I'd rather pick the bar up twice as opposed to picking it up 15 times.
Yeah. My problem is that like I lift so much more like an ollie lifter rather than a traditional deadlift. So I'll use a little bit more quad and like mid foot rather than staying on my heels. So I have to like, in order to use my posterior a lot, I have to like start from the top.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just easier to touch and go a bunch of reps.
Yeah, your second rep forward is gonna be your better reps. That
Yeah.
first rep is gonna be the worst, and, like,
Yep.
and if it's a really heavy weight, like, I don't think this is gonna be a super heavy weight, but, like, in the event that it was, like, a 300 plus, deadlift that you're gonna have to do a few different times, like, you definitely gotta get yourself together for that first one because
Yeah.
it's not gonna be fun getting it up.
Yeah.
Um,
So hopefully it's just like a 225 or something if it is, and then it's like I can rep out bigger sets of those and then be
right.
fine.
Well, let's end on this. Going back to grid, let's transition back with the Palms. If the Palms are going to contend for a championship this season, what is it that you personally need to do, and what is it that the team needs to do?
Good question. I mean, personally, probably a couple of the ladders, like be able to confidently hit the last ones. Where like last year I missed like the snatch, hang snatch complex. So just like small misses like that, where as long as I can like confidently hit those without a doubt, then that will obviously help.
Yeah,
Um, I'm hoping we can get a pullover, like a burpee pullover ringer. That would be sick because
all
I'll
right,
destroy that.
all right.
Um, as a team, though, really just communicating and executing. Where like last year we had a few mistakes, and so it's just eliminating as many mistakes as we can. Luckily, we have like a few more specialized players this year that we didn't have last year. So it's just utilizing them, and then we can utilize some of us others to not have as much fatigue whenever it comes to other things. So I think this year should be a lot better.
Yeah, it's that efficiency thing, man. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
is even like when it comes to communication, like you can communicate, but if you're slow in the approach and it's not as effective as another team's, like it kills you because like in these races, it's a matter of like half seconds,
Mm-hmm.
from
Yep.
winning and just finishing.
Yep.
And in a sport like grid where every win matters, and if you're not as efficient or you're getting faults or you're not communicating as effectively as you should, it's going to come back and it's going to bite you. So yeah, efficiency
Mm-hmm.
is definitely key. But before you get out of here, Cody, man, I want to ask you anything you want to plug or promote or put out there in the universe. Maybe tell the CrossFit gods what 25-3 should actually be. I don't know. What do you got?
25-3 should not be any strict handstand push-ups. I'll tell you that.
Good answer.
Because then I won't do as good on that. But if it's some rowing, I'm in. Some rowing, some light deadlifts, and quick little time cap. Not something that's 15 minutes. I'll crush it.
Let's cut it in half.
Good.
How about 8 minutes? Just
Yeah.
an 8 minute.
I'm good with 8 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah. 15 minutes, not good with. 8 minutes, I'm great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug? Sponsors? Anybody?
Honestly, surprisingly I don't have really any sponsors.
Hey,
it's crazy.
That's a good segue. Anybody looking out there? You want to sponsor Cody Rice, South Beach Palms? You want your name on his jersey? Maybe he could put your. I mean, maybe he could put your name. Sponsors. Yeah, you might could get your logo or your name on the butt side of his shorts. Like, I mean, who knows? Like, I mean,
hey,
can you imagine?
You want to sponsor me? We'll work a deal.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, hit him up, Instagram. I don't know, best way to get a hold of you, but find him. Yeah. He's out there. He's ready to get after it. He'll be a great brand ambassador, a great supporter of your product, and you won't be disappointed. So reach out to Cody for any sponsorship, partnership ideas, or anything that you might have in mind, or if you want to just work with Cody. But Cody, dude, I appreciate the time. Good luck on 25-3. And as always, have a great 2025 Grid League season. And if there's anything I can do for you, man, reach out.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, of course. That's Cody Rice, everybody. If you like hearing Cody's story or you just like hearing average Joe's talk X's and O's, please like, share the podcast on Facebook. Head over to YouTube, click like, click subscribe, click notifications. That way you're one of the first people to get notified when new content is dropped, because it's getting dropped every single day. Y'all be good this week. We got one more show coming at you. We got a big movement in the Grid League. Blake Kidder, we'll talk about his movement from the Wild to the Sharks. We'll have that episode out for you today as well. So stick around. Be ready for that. And as always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grid and grind all the time. We're out.